Hey there. Well, welcome everyone to another Speakers Magazine cover reveal with our cover girl, Sharrarne Morton, to this month, the March issue. You see, she has it in the background. We have our co host, YB. You see, he's got his speaker thing in the background.
Got my
There
man.
you go. There you go. Oh my God. Oh my God. So, YB, and you guys, you and Sharrarne have something in common. Talk about that.
Oh yeah, so we just found out that she came from a sorority meeting where there was 800. I thought she said 80, but she said 800 members. She is a beautiful woman of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, which is
Yay!
relatively related and connected to my fraternity, the only fraternity, the Ice Cold Brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity
That's right.
Incorporated. So
That's
we,
So
right.
you got a lot of
I've been
alpha energy
anticipating.
going on.
Oh,
Oh
I have a lot of alpha energy. That's right, a
my
lot of
goodness.
alpha energy.
First and the finest. And I
No,
celebrate my 33rd anniversary this month.
come
Yay!
on now, come
I'm
Oh
on.
my
excited. Yes, 33rd. Yep,
You
really
only
excited.
look 33, so
Oh,
that's
oh,
just
see?
Absolutely. She
I
yeah,
knew
she
I
came out the
so
womb.
how is that happening, right?
She
Like,
came out the
really?
womb throwing the pinky
right
up.
out
Let's
the
go.
womb. Out the womb. That's right, love it.
That's
Yeah.
right. Straight out the womb.
Well, this issue is special because she's also part of or the founder of the Black Door Society, which our colors are teal, black, and gold.
Yes.
Mm,
And so you can
mm.
tell she's got on the gold jacket on the cover of Speakers Magazine.
Yeah.
But it's Women's History Month. Uh, some of the ladies from Black Door Society are featured in this issue. It's a takeover issue. So, Sharrarne, we're going to be going through and you'll be giving us a little bit of background of each of the
Yeah.
ladies in it. But give us a background of who you are, and then give us a little bit of background about the Black Door Society, the mission and the values. I know it's about sisterhood, it's about really integrity and trust and obviously wealth building. But give us your background of where you started, because Sharrarne is, as you can see from the cover, she's the CEO of Morton Media and SiriusXM radio host and producer, besides
Mhm.
other things. We're talking about something that just launched this month about Skin Deep. But
Yeah.
give us your background in terms of where you come from in terms of journalism, and then where you went to school, and then some of the how you made your foray, I guess you would say, into broadcasting.
Yeah. Well, thank you, first of all, Dr. Pam, my very good friend, for having me on. Thank you so much as well, YB, for co hosting. I'm super excited to be on the show. I was born and raised actually in Washington, D.C., actually between Washington, D.C. and Prince George's County, Maryland. They're right next to each other. And I always knew that I wanted to be in broadcast journalism. One of my idols was Jane Kennedy. I don't know if anybody remembers her. She was a beautiful
Yes.
a sportscaster, the first Black female sportscaster in the 70s.
Mhm.
And I was like amazed that she was in this male dominated industry and just doing a fantastic job and just looking super beautiful, being super intelligent. And so from then on, I started carrying a hairbrush around the house and interviewing all of my family members, anybody who would interview with me. That's who I interviewed, and was the newspaper editor at my high school, and then went on to Rutgers University, the School of Journalism there, and majored
Mhm.
in broadcast journalism. Also had a radio show on campus. So I'm doing exactly what I always wanted to do. I was very, very fortunate in that once I finished school, I took a little detour into politics. I don't recommend that to anyone. It's a blood sport.
Well, it's kind of like you're in Washington D.C., so
Yeah,
it's in everybody's blood there, right?
it's
Yeah.
yes, and my family, I have a lot of family members that were elected officials as well. They were very active, very politically active. My
Mhm.
parents and grandparents always were in marches and taking us since we were little on marches as well. So my mother was very well connected to the political establishment in Washington, D.C. So it was in my blood. But it just wasn't for me. I mean, I'm tough, but good, great gracious, you have to be like a gladiator in the political arena. But because I had gone and knocked on over 25,000 doors during my running for office and had gotten to meet so many people, I lost. But a few weeks later, I got a phone call from an ABC News affiliate here in the Washington, D.C. area asking if I'd be interested in coming on the show and offering political commentary. It was on the Iraq War back then. They wanted me to do some political commentary just one time. And I was so nervous, but I did it. I went in. It was a panel. I was the only woman, the only Black person on the panel. And the phones went crazy. They were, the ratings skyrocketed. They asked me to come back again and again and again. So what started out as a one-time stint ended up, having me there for 14 years. I was doing
Wow.
8 for
Wow.
14 years. It was wonderful. And then we got canceled. And about a month later, a friend of mine, Carl Brown, who you know, Dr. Pam,
Mhm. Mhm.
asked if I would produce and co-host his new SiriusXM radio show called The Small Business Report. And so I've been with Sirius ever since. I pitched my own show, and now I have my show, Skin Deep, which has almost 1 million listeners nationwide. And so I'm just doing everything that I've always wanted to do and always dreamed of.
That is so good. So YB, she gave she was at our Speak Sell Shine,
Yep.
and she was one of the media, part of the media panel.
Hmm.
And she really had some of the people too from Speak Sell Shine on the show as well.
Yeah.
She also talked about the show being called Skin Deep.
Hmm.
So I want to foray into why the skin deep. You see, she has beautiful skin, so that's
Oh,
not really like the main topic.
flawless, flawless.
Yeah.
That's it's
A
flawless.
little bit
Well,
of it is
one of the
makeup too.
yes, but it really has to do with the something that she launched this month. So you want to give us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, in 2019, I had launched my beauty line called Skin Deep Beauty, and it was named after my SiriusXM radio show, Skin Deep, where we talked a little bit about everything having to do with health and wealth, mental, physical, financial health, all of those things. And one day I was talking to someone, and they were like, "Sharrarne, your skin is so beautiful. There's no way you can be the age that you are." And she said, "You should start a skincare line." And I
Mhm.
thought about that. I was like, maybe so. And so I actually did, like I said, in 2019, but then 2020 came and the whole world shut down and I got severely ill and had
Hmm.
to shut it down. But in 2019, I was actually looking to launch it both here in the US and in Dubai. And I had some great partners and some help to launch it abroad, but all of that got shut down. And then in 2023, the beginning of 2023, those partners gave me a call, one of them from the Maryland Department of Commerce, and said, "Hey, Sharrarne, we can pick up right where we left off. We'll, send you to Dubai and meet with some distributors and you take your products and we'll help you get it launched there." And that's exactly what they did. And so back in November, I was in Dubai for several weeks, pitching my products to major distributors and got two of them to agree to carry my products on their platform. And got one on the platform right now that actually launched about 2 weeks ago. And we launched in the US last week.
Hmm.
And it's just been wonderful. I just never knew that it would come to fruition, but I always say it's in God's time.
It is in God's time because
Absolutely.
even one of the things is Sharon has a intuitive spirit, and she's led by the spirit. And so when the first year you're supposed to go to Dubai, something happened, I think, with your visa or something, and it didn't
Right.
happen. And then the next year you went, and the very first person you talked to said yes.
Yes, they said
Like,
yes.
I mean, it's like how many people were at this event? How many?
Right. Oh, it was tens of thousands of people this was the biggest beauty conference in the world. It's called Beauty
Yeah.
World
And
in Dubai.
the first person
The
she talked
first
to said yes.
person said they tried it. They were like, "Oh, we got to talk. We're interested." It was just amazing. It was just really God. I
It
always
was.
say to him. So
It
I
was. That's the thing. And so Sharon had the inclination to do Black Door Society.
Hmm.
Again, it was an event. I think you were the MC, or
yes,
you had some other ladies were also on the panel.
that's right.
I think it was Dr. Roz, and I think Dr. Renee Carr,
That's right. I
and
forgot who else.
was it
D Bowden, I think. I think it was those three. Maybe one more. I'm missing one
Mhm.
other one.
And basically you were like, these women are powerful. We could come together collectively and really share our knowledge, share our experience with business. And really, it's a it's an exclusive membership of women of color who are
Mhm.
prominent in corporate and entrepreneurial roles. I'm saying the formal thing here, with the shared commitment to advancing the success and expanding the wealth of the members and the Black women in general. That
Mhm.
was the idea.
That's
The
Mhm.
right.
idea was in 2020. Most of you all were in the DMV area. I
Right.
was the only one trailing from Detroit until 2021, I believe. And so give us how it came about and where it is now, where it started and where it is now.
Well, in 2020, as I mentioned previously, I got really ill from COVID and just thought it was the end for me. And like I tell everybody, I read my will to my adult daughters because they didn't have a cure, they didn't have vaccinations back then, they just had nothing. And so I realized once I got better, which took me a year, by the way, I realized that I could have left this world and taken all of this knowledge, all of these connections, all of these networks with me without helping anyone else. And so once I got better in 2021, I was sitting on a panel. Actually, Carl Brown had a panel, and he asked me to MC, like you said, Pam. And usually when you sit on these panels, you meet these phenomenal people, and you trade information, and then you never really talk to them again unless you see them out somewhere at another event. But I said,
Mhm.
hey, you ladies are just absolutely amazing. Would you mind joining me in this journey? I have this vision of, women coming together and sharing connections and sharing information, and allowing each other access to really high net worth and high network opportunities. And these women didn't know me. Dr. Roz was a sorority sister, but we only knew of each other. We weren't in the same chapters. And so she didn't really know me. But these women said, okay. And then shortly thereafter, I think I met you. No, I had already met Pam, but then I called Pam and asked her if she would join, and she said okay. Everybody that I asked to join this organization said okay. And I think it was because we genuinely felt how important it was to help each other to climb. And we
Mhm,
understood that it really does take collaborations and partnerships to succeed in business. And
mhm.
so what started out as just like four women coming together and hey, let's just trade some information. It has grown, and we could have so many more women in the organization if we wanted, but we limited it to
Yes.
a certain to 21 women a year. And so it's just been phenomenal. We've come a long way, haven't we, Pam?
Oh my god. It is, like, unbelievable. She's being real modest. We did a pitch contest. They've had an awards thing. The last year in DC, I didn't make it, but I think the mayor's not the mayor,
The governor's wife came. I
she
mean,
was there.
anybody came out,
Uh,
and they had
girl
heard of us.
that
They
is
knew
that's
about us.
amazing. And then the girls that wanna have funds, that was
Yeah.
sponsored by, I believe, Chase.
Yep, JP Morgan Chase. We've been
JP
on
Morgan.
television, oh gosh, at least half a dozen times. YB, it has been a whirlwind, and I really didn't
And
aim
Detroit
for it to
chapter members
grow.
are now part
Oh,
of it as
yes,
well.
yes, yes.
So we've
We're
got
going
we've
to
got 3 now.
Detroit.
We've got Sharrarne Rose and Nilda Thomas. And so we're doing our Founders Day. I want to give a shout out to that in April in Detroit, going to the Motown Museum, doing
Yes,
some things
yes.
Detroit wide. So anyway, so yeah, and we're doing a panel discussion, of
I
course.
feel like I snuck into your sorority meeting, so I just, you know what I'm saying. I just, but you said a word that I love is, obviously, I'm a champion for collaboration. But talk to the folks who are watching, who are speakers, about this whole concept of diversification, right? So clearly you're not just a speaker, right? So
No.
you speak as a mechanism, and I'd love to hear more about, the things you speak about. But talk about this concept of diversification and how it opens up doors to more collaboration opportunities.
Yeah, so, I'm in media, I'm in beauty, my skincare line, skindeepbeautystore.com, by the way. And I am, the founder and president of Black Door Society. So I'm doing a little bit of everything. It is a lot, but it is important. that we have multiple streams of revenue, of course, but it's also important to know all of these different people in these different industries and make connections and collaborate. I've joined, Dr. Pam and I have joined Women Elevating Women with Betty Hines, and
Awesome.
Betty and I got together and we were like, hey, we need to partner. We need to collaborate because we're doing the same thing. Yes, she was on, what month? Was that
That
January?
was
What, last year?
September. Yeah, that was September of 2023. We went to her event, Women Elevating Women, and
Yeah.
that's our collaborative partner, YB. That's one of our collaborative partners as well.
So I've learned, YB, that it's so important to collaborate, especially with like-minded people and like-minded organizations. You just get to that level of success much faster. And not only that, you have these bonds, you grow these bonds with these women, especially. It's like a sisterhood. It's like it's a business sorority
Mhm.
almost,
Yeah.
basically.
Mhm.
Because we do lift each other up and we come together and we pull as we climb. Um, and so I'm just so happy and excited about all the things to come. We've done so much, but we have so much more to do.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And one of the things that I believe it was Dr. Renee Carr, I can't remember. She's one of the original founders as well, where she said it's like the good old boy network, but it's really the good old black girl network.
Right. We just
Yeah.
took a page out of the Good Old Boy Network because
Mhm.
they've been doing this for centuries, collaborating and partnering on golf courses and in country clubs. And I like to say we just do it over mani pedis and brunches. But we're collaborating as well. We're making deals as well.
Mhm. That is so good. That is so
Yeah, I
good.
was
And
most
and
I was most oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Pam.
no, she was saying that some of the collaborative things that have happened where some of the ladies are going in on bids on contracts together. They did a
Mhm.
conference together, Dr. Ogo's conference. There was
Yes.
an opportunity, and I'll share this opportunity. There was an opportunity I shared from a client, Dr. Kawana, and she had was doing applications for honorary degrees. And Dr. Ogo, I sent it out to our list. We have these secret
Succession
things that we
years.
share,
Yeah.
right? So we're always sharing things with each other. And Dr. Ogo says, I would be interested in doing that. And she's in the DMV area. And Dr. Kawana was doing Dream University, which is in California. And she said, I would be interested in doing an application. Do you think it would be beneficial? And of course, she did it, and she actually is now honorary doctorate, Dr. Ogo, as well now. And I was like, "Oh my god," we're taking pictures, we did press releases. I was like, "Yo, this is huge," all from just a connection. Because I only met Dr. Ogo a couple of times, but,
Yeah,
we're in a group, and so when the email went out, she jumped on it, and her she's in the magazine, we'll go over who she is, but she's just powerful.
she
It was
really
just waiting
is.
on the right person to present that connection to her, which is really what collaboration is about. You
Mhm.
may have a connection, like YB may have a connection, but the connection may not necessarily be for him personally, but it's for him to introduce to
Right.
someone else so that they can grow. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
planting seeds.
Oh,
It's like planting
absolutely.
seeds. It's really biblical too. So
Mhm.
it's one
Absolutely.
of those things
Really
as well.
is.
Talk a little bit about your Sirius XM radio experience. I think that definitely, obviously being in the media, it's kind of like a softball, right? You kind of like hit that out the park. But there's some people that are looking for ways to advance in their career in the media. Like how would you recommend someone going about doing that in that manner?
Yeah, I get that question all the time. How can I, get on SiriusXM or any other major platform? And for me, it was all about a connection and who I knew. And they actually got the opportunity and shared it with me because they
Mhm.
needed help producing their show and hosting their show. And so that's how I got my foot in the door. It was all in who you know. And I always tell people to make certain that they don't just network, but they, what I call power network, where they are going into rooms with decision makers. Um, and those people are the ones who can say yes or no. You don't want to go into rooms where there has to be, a lot of red tape to get to a yes. You
Mhm.
want to go into these rooms where people are, heads of these corporations or CEOs or heads of the radio stations or television stations. And, you make the introduction or get the introduction made by someone like Carl did for me.
Right.
And once you get your foot in the door, you have to prove yourself, of course. And
Mhm.
because I've been doing media for over 20 some odd years, it just came natural for me.
Yeah, I think it's important that we always remember the value of a connection, and that those connections, like Pam said, they have to be nurtured. Right? They
Oh,
have
yeah.
to be watered. What has been your biggest challenge, though? Like, obviously you've got a lot of success. You've done some great things. What would you say are some of the challenges that you've had to overcome outside of the health situation when you
Oh,
dealt
yeah.
with COVID?
Surviving COVID.
Yeah, surviving COVID. That might be a book, right? Surviving COVID,
Yes,
right?
that is a book.
But what would you say from a career perspective? What have been some of the challenges that you've had to overcome?
Well, I've had to face challenges and still do every day, just as a Black woman entrepreneur. Sometimes access to capital can become a challenge for a lot of entrepreneurs, but thankfully, again, I have partnerships and collaborations
Mm,
with folks who can get me in those doors and help me and my Black Door Society sisters get the access that we're looking for. But I would say that for me and so many other entrepreneurs, especially entrepreneurs of color, it would definitely be the access to capital. I think the other thing too is really understanding that entrepreneurship is a journey. It's not a sprint. It's like for me, it's been like having a baby and you have to nurture it every day and feed it and care for it every day. But you also need your rest and your me time
mm,
and your spa days and your girlfriend days. So
Yes,
um,
self-care is important. It really
self-care is
is.
important because if you aren't taking care of self, then you're not even going to be able to run your business. And so I've
right.
learned that as well. I'm a
And
nap.
saying
Oh yeah,
and
naps
saying
naps are naps are critical.
I take naps
Naps
and
are
I go to
critical.
bed early. Dr. Pam knows that.
she does. If it's after 9 o'clock, it's like,
It's a
forget it.
wrap.
Right,
She's
right.
gone. But one of the things too that I the whole point of saying no so that we can get to more yeses. So at one point you were producing 2 shows.
Right.
You were doing the small business report with Carl and you
That's
were
right.
doing your own show. And
Yes.
you're doing your media training and doing Morton Media and all of that and
Yes.
buying,
A lot.
so you had a lot on your plate
I
and you're
did.
also mom and wife. So, so learning to say no to something, to cut something off for a new season is important and recognizing when to say no because we can't say yes to everything. Even if you're a speaker, you can't say yes to every speaking opportunity. There are some things you're going to have to say no for your sanity, for your family, for
Mhm.
your health, and knowing when to say no because then it leaves room for bigger yeses. And so that whole point, everything sounds good. It's all the shiny objects, and people say, "Hey, will you speak? Will you speak?" Even if it's for money, if you're a speaker and you're speaking so much that you're running ragged, then that's the point where you can't clone yourself. So you
Nope.
have to have other collaborative partners that you can say, "Hey, I may not be able to speak, but I'll recommend another speaker for you, or I have someone
Right.
else that would be a good someone instead of me because they're looking for someone like you." So that's where Speakers Magazine is kind of like a way where it's your reference tool, or even Black Speakers Network for real, where you can just recommend other speakers that that are at the same path and as ready as you are. And that's really important. So Black Speakers Network has been our collaborative partner for 6 years.
Oh,
Brian Oles, shout out to Brian Oles. He had the vision for Black Speakers Network to really level everybody up that is aspiring or those that are there we go to join Black Speakers Network. Make sure that people can understand the industry. Just
mm,
like you're going in any industry that's new. If you're going into media, it's new. If you're going into nonprofit, they have their own lingo, their own words, their own things. They have their own conferences. So that part is really, really important to network with people that are in your same circle, going maybe 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years ahead of you so that you really know what to do. But the most important thing is knowing when to say no. And
That's
then when you do say no to one opportunity, share with someone else that it
Yeah,
might be this season.
absolutely.
It's no for you, but it could be yes for somebody else. So
that's
I always
right.
to do
And
And
that's
that.
that's
what I love about Black Door Society, YB. We share a lot of opportunities.
Oh my God.
And I know that there's been several times just recently when I couldn't do an interview on Fox 5 or
Yes.
and I just called one of our BDS
Natalie.
members, Dr. Marcia, and then I also called Natalie because they came actually on location to the health
Mhm.
conference that Ogo and I were co-hosting. And I was about to go on stage, and the television station was like, "We're here. We need an interview." And Natalie was standing right there, and she did a terrific job. She found Betty Hines and pulled her into the interview.
Oh
and
my
then,
God.
uh,
Auntie Betty.
yeah, and then with my Fox 45 interview, I couldn't make it. It was supposed to be Ogo and I a second time around. They loved us so much. The first time they asked us to come back, and I sent her and Dr. Marcia instead. So, yes, I definitely know how to say no and pass along those opportunities.
There you go.
Yeah, that's
If you all get nothing else out of this live today, that is the part that I want everyone to hear. Okay. That you pass the opportunity along. When you can't do it, find someone that is there, yes, for them. That
yeah.
is the whole point of that.
That's right.
So I want to thank our behind the scenes person, producer Monet, for putting it there. YB, you kind of noticed that too, right? Like
Oh,
the
I love it. Let me tell you something. I'm admiring the versatility and the
I
fact that you're right there in the
know.
middle. It's like, come on, let's
I like
But,
that.
but I
yes.
think one other thing to build on that as we begin to transition is being a person worthy of receiving that, right? So we know what we do when we are able to give. But another part of that, the other side of the coin, for those of you who are watching and listening, is just being worthy, meaning that have your stuff together because
All
you may
right.
want somebody to give you an opportunity or to call you and say, hey, join me in this opportunity. But if you're not, set for success, you'll miss out every single time. So when we posted that message about Black Speakers Network, if you're not a part of the membership, you need to get a part of the membership because it'll
What?
help you
Yeah.
level up tremendously. You
What do
know,
they say? Be ready so you don't have to get ready.
That's
that's
what
right.
I say
Stay
all the
ready. You got to
time.
stay ready. That's
And
right.
I
Got
and I
Ready,
wanted
set,
to
go.
mention that some of these ladies that we do call on and that we share with. I don't know if you can see the first lady, Lisa Harbor Carter. She's a
Mhm.
great dear friend of mine for over 20 years. She has her own brokerage firm, and then we also have
We're gonna go through. We're gonna go through it.
oh,
We're gonna
okay. I'm sorry.
We're gonna hit every single one. That's
I'm
right.
sorry,
That's
Dr.
right.
Pam.
that's a producer in her, right?
That's right. See, stay ready. Stay ready.
I like to
So
give credit where credit is due.
Mhm.
it's so funny. She started going through it. And Monet's like, well, we're gonna get it up. We're gonna get it up. So the cover, I want to just give a shout out to our photographer,
Oh my gosh.
Chef.
Jeff
Chef Brooks.
is
Yes.
amazing. Jeff is amazing. He just did another photo shoot for me last week, Dr.
You know, I
Pam.
saw some of those pictures. They were fabulous.
Weren't they fabulous? Oh, he's
Yes,
amazing. And
yes.
shout out to my makeup artist, Connie High and Yanni Beauty. They did a fabulous job on my makeup. And then, of course, my
Yes.
hairstylist, Kayla there.
And so
I mean, they just had me looking amazing. Everybody.
and the thing of it is that it was a community that came together. There's a black owned studio.
Yes, yes.
Definitely we had a black owned photographer, black photographer. We definitely had the glam team,
Everybody
so
was
it's
black.
really yeah, we're trying to support our community. I mean, we
Yeah,
learned that from our uncle George Frazier, right? Like,
that's right.
that's one of the main things. We have to circulate the monies in our own community.
Mhm.
And
That's right.
so with that, Sharrarne is amplifying the voices of Black women. Uh, that part right there. The article is actually written by Brian Oles of Black Speakers Network. How Black women in
Oh,
media speak truth to power.
that was such a
This
good article.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And
He pulled that together.
so was your message, Dr. Pam, from the desk of
Well,
your
it was from the heart of how we met and that sort of thing.
yes, it was so
What I
heartwarming.
want, Monet, if you can kind of hover over the cover a little bit so people can see there's a video. So that speaker reel is, well, I don't know if that's the speaker reel. I think it's the speaker reel or either our interview together, but there are videos embedded on every page.
Hmm.
So that's one of the main things I want people to look at the online issue when they go to speakersmagazine.com. They can click and watch the videos that are embedded. They can actually get a physical magazine. That's good because you could pass that along to other people and that kind of thing. Or if you have an office, you keep in the lobby in your in your lobby in your office building or something like that. So that's one of the main things. But I love this cover, Washington D.C.
Yeah.
What
That's the Jefferson Memorial in the background.
That's it.
I
That's
love
I was
that.
gonna say.
Yeah.
Yes, that is it. And then the whole thing of the teal. So
Yeah.
we didn't really talk about the colors, but I want you to explain the colors because you were the founder and you picked the colors. So give us the symbolism of what each color means.
Well, the teal means wealth and luxury and high end connections. And we associate it like with the brand Tiffany's. And as a matter of fact, we give a beautiful silver spoon to all of our new members from Tiffany's, real silver.
Mhm,
And so that's why we selected teal. Black because we are Black women, and it doesn't get any better than that. And gold because we aspire to the wealth
mhm,
and the legacy that
mhm,
we want to build or are building for our families.
mhm. That is good. That is good. And really our tagline is opening doors of opportunity
Hmm.
to
Yes.
wealth and legacy.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
So that's
that's
what we
really
do.
that's
We open doors. We kick open doors. That's why we're called Black Door Society. Everybody loves the name. And they're like, well, what are you doing? What does that mean? And it's exactly what it says. We're Black women opening doors for each other.
I love that. I love that. And one of the things too, if I read some of the little bit of, I'm not going to read all of it, but we promise to utilize the expertise and businesses of our BDS sister network to really, really dilute without the expectation to dilute our wealth. And
That's right.
so it's really the whole thing of where the jewels of the crown. That's why the gold is there. We're jewels in the
Mhm.
crown. And so you'll see the next page where you'll see some of the crowns.
Yeah. Listen, I had to deliver a crown to Sharrarne today at our sorority meeting. She left it at the photo shoot. She says,
Mhm.
Sharon, I miss her. I'm like, who? She says, the crown. Can you bring her to the meeting? I left it at the photo shoot. I said,
Oh my god.
okay.
That is so funny. That is so funny. So this right here, we're getting into the issue here. You'll see on the all the women that are listed here. Quick media coverage. Obviously, my background is being in publicity, so I talk about PR. You can scan that QR code, and then this issue is really dedicated to women. It's Women's History Month. Yesterday was International Women's Day. I had no idea. I mean, I'm like an OG, but it was like this has been like really trending lately.
I
I was like,
Oh,
this
know.
big
wasn't like
time.
this.
I
Big time.
know.
Have you
It's
ever been like
catching
that?
it's catching a lot of momentum. A lot of
Yes,
momentum.
Yes,
it is. Yes, it
yes.
is.
It's just been within the last few years, really.
Yeah, but
Yeah, yeah,
you planned this perfectly to highlight Black Door Society during Women's History Month and International Women's Day. This is just
yes.
perfect, Dr. Pam.
That was the goal. So
Yeah.
the next page, it really, you were talking about how the I won't say the op-ed. It's not an op-ed. I am the ed, right? So
The publisher's page from the desk of the publisher.
Mm, yes.
right, right, right. So I was thinking the op-ed, like opinion editorial. No, I
Right.
am there. I am the editorial. But this one really right here talks about some of the women in the Black Door Society, and really, it encourages talking about the crown. It encourages us to walk with our heads held high and face a challenge with courage, and never to forget the queens we are. And
That's
Mhm.
that's why
right.
the crown is. That's part of the motif that Sharrarne has created as well. If you can kind of see some of the ladies there and the crown that she has there, and that was from the photo shoot that Jeff did, where the ladies were there. Doing some B-roll and behind the scenes of that as well. I think I put on the IG of Speakers Magazine. You kind of doing your little dance on there as
Yeah.
well, kind of like a quasi TikTok. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, she said
They
she
have
didn't do
your
TikTok, so we got you there.
yeah. And then I see you have pictures of some of our events as well. I think our
Yes.
boat
Oh my
ride.
God. That
Yeah, we
was
had a lot of
fun.
fun. Yeah. I
Yeah,
still
but
have the
that
boa and all the feathers
oh my
that
god. So
you
the
brought.
boas are great. They are a
Yeah,
great prop, but let me tell you, when you go to somebody else's event, those boa feathers get all over the place and they are mad about it. So
that's right.
we were on the boat ride in DC. So yeah, so that was
Why
good. That was
YB,
good.
you have to come to our next boat ride. I don't think we're gonna have another one though. Are you where are you, YB? Are you in the
I live
DMV?
in Richmond, so I'm literally about an hour and change up or down the road. So that DC is
Ah,
quick. DC is
yeah,
quick. So
Mhm.
I go
don't threaten me with a good time. I'll be right up there.
and a lot of us we go to your the alphas parties and events and all of
Oh
that.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
we're
It is.
hoping to see you.
It's about collaboration. And
Yeah,
then Lisa Harbour is one of the founders as well. Met
yeah,
her the very first time, probably 3 years ago.
yes,
Oh my
yes.
god, the realtor that has that Midas touch. I mean, she just really knows what she's doing. Like you said, she's been your friend for a couple of
Over
decades or
20 years.
so.
Yeah, our children went to elementary school together and they're all grown now. And she's just
Mhm,
so sweet and kind. And so
mhm.
yeah, she is the first one of the founders. She came in with you, I think, Dr.
Yes.
Pam. Yes,
Yes. Yeah,
yes,
we had our ceremony together, and it
yeah.
was just, I remember sitting on a couple of bar stools, and we were like, "What are they planning over there? I don't know what's going on." It's like, "What is this?" And we were just kinda like, "Well, what's gonna happen?" You know?
Right.
And, yeah, so we became, like, really good friends from that because and also too, if you kinda hover over that, Monet, you see the video that of her, yeah, right there, if you click it, you kinda hear her interview because
Mhm.
she explains why she went into real estate. She's actually been in real estate and had the interest with it in her 20s.
Oh
She
yeah,
really did. And so
a
she's
long
been in
time.
it for a while. It wasn't like, oh, this is my side hustle. No, this is her career.
This is her
Right.
When she got
career.
out of college, she wanted to make sure that this was a career that she built and that she does. And
That's
she
right.
teaches other people how to do it as well. So that's the
Mhm.
other thing of how to pass a real estate exam. She gives advice and coaching on all of those things real estate.
And she
Uh,
sold one of my houses too. So
oh my God.
yeah.
Yes. Yes. So she definitely knows how to do that and does that well. The next page is another we call them co-founders. So Sharon is the first founder, and then there's other co-founders. So Renee Butler,
Yeah.
smart as all get out. Oh my
Yes, she
God.
is. Yeah.
So
And
you
she
explain a little bit who Renee is because she's
yeah,
working on her PhD as we speak right now. That's probably what
right.
she's doing.
Yeah, she's so smart and she is a connector as well. She knows a lot of people.
Hmm.
And when it's crunch time, Renee gets the job done. She's a techie. So she kind of
Yeah.
helps behind the scenes and pulls everything together. And one of the main reasons our luncheon last year was so successful was because of Renee. She just came in, pulled everything together, her and Nicolette, and I don't know where I would be without her. So so
Wow.
happy. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So
And one of the topics that she speaks on obviously entrepreneurship, leadership, and STEM.
yes, yes,
Mhm.
You
she
know,
does a lot
science,
of coaching.
technology, and it yeah,
Yeah,
that's one of her main things that she talks to. And the Quran, there's Saran, like you
yeah.
said.
She got her friend back. She
Yes,
was like,
yes.
I miss seeing her. But yes, Saran, she just came in with the last induction back in October. So she's
Mhm.
new to Black Door Society, but she's a wealth builder. She's a super successful entrepreneur as well. And she does a lot of webinars on, how to save money. And she's always the first one to say, hey, I can sponsor, I can't go to the event, but I can sponsor a Black Door Society sister. I
Wow.
love people who do that.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
I can't go, I can't really support you in person, but I can send someone in
Mhm.
my place. She does that all the
Mhm.
time. I love that.
Yeah, she's about for real empowering women and
Yes,
really, the whole financial education piece, which is
that's right.
really like a big, big part of that. And so Saran, she just came in, love her, love her. And then the center spread is really the issue that I just love these pictures. Oh
Oh my
my
God.
God. Oh
YB,
my God.
don't they look great? I mean,
Oh
Listen,
my
straight
God.
regal,
Jeff did
regal.
that. I was like, thank you, Mr. Jeff Brooks. He's watching right
yes.
now.
And listen,
He did.
talk about collaboration. He's now going to do Dr. Marcia's event, photography.
Come
Yes,
on now,
there
come
you
on,
go.
somebody, come on.
Yeah,
Yes, 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 because
yes.
she's in DMV as well. Because I tell you, I met Jeff on Clubhouse. Remember we were doing
Oh,
why do you remember we were doing Clubhouse all
Oh
the
yeah,
time?
absolutely. Yep.
And Jeff would come in our
okay.
rooms a lot, and that's where I met Jeff. and he's actually good friends with someone else that I know in DV, Pastor Kevin Wayne Johnson, who was a client probably about 20 years ago. He
Yep.
said, "Yeah, I did Kevin's pictures." I was like, "Really?" And so he did Nikichi, which was
Yeah.
our February issue as well, and then Nikichi's loved her shots. And then I said, "Well, you're going to have to do Sharrarne." Now he's doing Dr. Marcia. So yeah,
Right,
he is our speaker friend for real. Okay, he's Speakers
right.
Magazine friend.
And we did it right around the corner. The studio, like Dr. Pam said, is Black owned, and it's like 10 minutes from my house. It was
Right.
perfect. And he
Mhm.
just, I couldn't imagine how beautiful the pictures would come out because I wasn't familiar with him and his work, but now I am, and I'm telling everybody about him.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
So Dr. Marcia, who is our cover coming up in April,
yeah.
little spoiler alert, I guess you would say right there. But her event is coming up in April as well. So refueling on fire. So that's coming up. But the ladies there, he took a group shot, and then that Soul Train line, and you coming down with the prom. Just all of the branding, and a shout out to my designer Miles as well.
Oh,
Miles did that. He knew the colors were teal, so he had that theme going throughout the entire
beautiful.
magazine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everything is so beautiful and well put
yeah,
together.
yeah. And the videos, if you scroll over, if you hover over each one, you'll see there's some videos on each one of those. They're different videos, so you want to make sure that you see her sizzle reel, as well, to book her to speak or MC or any of those type of things. That's really like the important. Then the other page is our other co-founder, Dr. Roz,
Yes.
Baker Black.
Uh-huh.
She is fabulous. Oh my God,
Yeah. A
she is a
doctor of
DP.
psychology, and she does a lot of coaching. She too knows a lot of people. She's a connector as well. We love Dr. Ross. She's
She's the idea person for the awards, was she not?
yes, it was her brainchild. She
So
came up with
explain that, explain it, but talk about the event that's coming up, because maybe that's something, YB could come to as well.
oh yeah, it is a huge event, YB. We Dr. Ross came up with the idea early last year, and I was like, Dr. Ross, I don't know. It seems like so much work. You know, Dr. Ross has these big, amazing ideas, but she doesn't really say, "Oh, it's going to take a lot of work." She just says, "It's going to be fabulous. Don't worry,"
Right,
and it
Right.
always does turn out
Yeah.
fabulous. And so we just invited all of these wonderful, well-known people, and we gave them awards. And we had Chub Rock. It was a 90s day party, actually, awards and
mhm,
90s day party with lunch. And Chub Rock was the entertainment. He was excellent. The First Lady of Maryland, who's the first Black First Lady in the state of Maryland. Her husband is the
Mhm.
first Black governor, and they are the
And a
only
member of Alpha Phi Alpha as well.
yes, he is. And he makes sure that we all know that, which is a great thing. But she came. We presented her with the History Maker Award, of course, because she is making history. And she said her husband, one of his favorite rappers, was Chub Rock, and she just wanted to take a picture with Chub, and so she did. She was excited. So it was good, but that was all Dr. Roz is doing. It was all, her brainchild.
and was there a news anchor that got an award?
Yes, yes. Millette Green from
Yeah,
NBC4 got an award, and
yes.
then she also showed the event. She had her cameramen come out, and the event was aired on NBC4 the next morning. We just had so many fantastic people that we awarded, and this year we're going to be giving an award to the singer-songwriter Raheem Devon because he has a foundation called Love Life. He does a lot of work
Mm,
around HIV and AIDS, and
love that.
helping people with food and utilities. We also have another news anchor, really popular news anchor here, Sean Yancey. She has a
Mhm,
foundation called Girls Night Out. We have the esteemed journalist Roland Martin, who's going to
mhm.
be given an award. We just have some wonderful, wonderful people. Senator Nick Charles, we're giving about 8 awards out to some phenomenal people who
And
do
what
phenomenal.
date is it?
It's Saturday, June
Mm,
22nd at noon,
mhm,
right
mhm.
in Greenbelt at Martin's Crosswinds.
June
And
22nd. So we'll yeah.
yeah, June
But people
22nd.
can go to Black Door Society to actually find
Yeah,
out,
thank
more
you.
about it, blackdoorsociety.org.
.org.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
blackdoorsociety.org to get your tickets. We will be sold out. We sold out last year. I know we're going to probably be sold out pretty soon this year because everybody had a great time and couldn't get in. We had to say no to almost 100 people last year.
Whew.
So
Yeah, that's why I wanted to tell YB early because this is like a spoiler alert. Like, I was like, "YB, we need you to get there.
I
I
need to
want you to
get
meet
there.
Roland. He's really a good guy. You would really like Roland. I think Roland is a
he's an alpha as well. No,
that's
yeah,
what I
he's an
was
alpha.
wondering.
That's
I
right.
was
He's an
gonna say, I think I remember him doing that sign.
alpha. Yes,
He's bold about wearing his colors on his show. So he
yes,
wears
yes.
He
letters.
sure is. So you definitely have to meet Roland on June 22nd at the Black Door
Oh,
Society's community.
I know, Roland.
Listen. I'm Roland, and I have met, and he's the type of person who will take your phone and do the selfie.
Right.
He'll take the selfie. I'm like, dude, I'm way taller than you. Why are you taking my own selfie? I'm like, just back up, just back up, just back up.
Back
I'm
up.
like,
He
all
will.
right,
He'll
I
say,
got you,
just
bro.
back
I
up.
got you. I got your old head. I got your
He's
old head.
So
yeah.
it's the community awards. It really is. It's one of the give back things that the Black Door Society likes to do is shine a
Yeah.
spotlight of those that are Black and that are really unapologetic about doing things for our community. The
That's
Black
right.
Star Network is what he's been. He's been in Black media. You know, he was
Mhm.
with the Chicago Defender. You know, I've known him for years. You know, Vice President NABJ, all of that,
Yes,
and
yes.
that was for what Dr. Roz Aker Black. You know, you read her accolades over here. I mean, she's been on some stuff herself. She's been on the
She
OWN
really has.
network and
She's
all
on
this other
TV and radio
thing,
a
you
lot. Yeah.
know. So these some smart women. And then the other smart woman over here, Miss Dawn Cherie. Oh my
Oh,
God.
yeah, Dr. Dawn, I love her. She's also a psychologist. She just got her PhD last year in psychology. She's so kind and she's just always like worried about, helping everyone else. She's a
Mhm.
mom and she just really addresses like trauma in the Black community, especially among children. So she's
And she
doing
just
God's work.
and she's debuting a book this month with you. You all
That's
in a
right.
collaborative.
Yes,
Mhm.
she is. Thank you for reminding me about that, Dr. Pam. Yeah, I am worthy. That Talisha Berry is the publisher of.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that was
Mhm.
that
Collaborative.
was an opportunity that I shared with Dr. Dawn, and I think with Natalie as well. Natalie is in the book. It'll be
Oh,
coming
okay.
out soon this spring.
Yes.
But yes.
Yes. So that's one of the collaborative things that even though we may be in the same industry and
Mhm.
sometimes doing some of the same things, we could still support each other. So Talisha
That's
Berry, who met
You introduced me to
Sharrarne.
her. You
Yes.
introduced me to Alicia.
Yes, and
Yes.
she came all the way from California to the
Yep.
DMV, and they were the only 2 that came to this event. They support my sister supported me. I was speaking at an event, but she produces Courageous Woman magazine, and
Mhm.
Courageous magazine is one of her products. It's about 12 years old, but she also does books
Yeah.
and anthologies, and so you, Natalie, and, Dr.
Dr.
Dawn
Dawn,
Cherie
yeah.
are in that, and so I want to make
And Dr. Marcia is on the cover of Courageous Woman magazine this
I
month.
just saw that yesterday with Mr. Jeff Brooks doing the photo, I
That's
might
right.
add. I'm
That
like,
was from
"Okay."
our photo shoot. That's right. It's a big, small world.
It is, it really is, and people need to support each other and really, um, collaborate and not compete, you know?
That's right.
What's your tagline, YB?
Collaboration creates currency.
There you
That's
go.
That's the
right.
That's
blueprint.
that
The
part.
blueprint for visibility, credibility, and profitability. That's what it's all about.
That is it.
Okay, YP.
That is really it, and that's what BSN is really all about, Black Speakers Network. So the next person we just all love, this is Dr. Ogo. Oh my God,
Oh,
now she's
yeah.
Dr. Ogo, right?
Oh, my
Videos are
gosh.
in there as well, but she is really about public health. When I talk
Mhm.
about th- smart,
And
smart,
brilliant, brilliant.
brilliant,
Yes,
yeah,
I met her about 10 or 12 years ago. She was just a sophomore or junior in college.
okay,
Actually, let me tell you, I was slated to be on Roland Martin's show when he was on TV1.
hmm,
I was coming to talk on his show about young Black people in STEM, right? So
okay,
uh, it just so happened that Ogo was in the STEM program. And I had been emceeing this conference of the STEM program. And I met Ogo. And back then, she was talking about having this huge conference one day for about public health and how important it was to promote health, especially among Black women and global health. And she just had all these amazing ideas. And I said, hey, would you like to come on Roland Martin's show with me and talk about your involvement in STEM and what you plan to do in the future. And she said, oh, of course. She was so excited. She was only 19. She blew everyone away. That's how brilliant she it was and
Mhm.
still is. She blew everyone away. So now she's a wife and a mother, and she is doing everything that she said she would do 10, 12 years ago. I'm so proud
She
of her.
she just had a conference.
Yeah, she had a huge conference at the beautiful Gaylord Hotel. It was
And
sold
then
out.
mhm.
Everybody who was anybody was there, but the important thing was she gave everyone an opportunity to have access to these health contracts, millions and millions of dollars worth of health contracts for healthcare workers who wanted to go into business for themselves. So the girl is just doing it. I mean, she's on fire, and she was kind enough to ask me to co-host the conference with her. She shared her stage with me. She, told everybody about how we met so many years ago.
Mhm.
And she's new to BDS. She just came into Black Door Society back in October as
Yes.
well.
Yes, and her video is there, so you can kinda see her sizzle reel. Uh, if you hover over that, you definitely have to go there as well and watch it. And then Nilda is new to BDS and one of the new Detroit. So
Yeah.
Sharrarne was the first person we brought in from Detroit, and then Nilda is our other person that we brought in from that as well. And so she is really like kind of leading the charge, so to speak. Uh, sometimes you know people, but you don't know who they are really until you work with them. And so you
Right.
kind of know the roles. She's like project manager Nilda, okay? It's like, get it together. Like I'm gonna send the notes out, I'm gonna put the agenda together. I was like, okay. It's like I've known you for years. It's like, get me together, okay?
And the other thing I just found out about Nilda is that she will soon be a golden soror, 50 years in the sorority.
Wow,
I
I
didn't
did
I
not
knew we were
know
sorority sisters,
that.
but
A
she'll be
golden.
celebrating her 50th year. I think next year, I think she said, or the year after.
Oh
Yes.
my God. I
Yeah.
did not realize that. That she looks good too.
Doesn't
I'm
she?
like,
Yes, yes. And she was at
what are you guys
what is
drinking over
she?
there?
And she came to the health conference as well to support
Mhm.
OGO. And we had a number of Black Door Society sisters in the room, and OGO brought us all up, and she talked a lot about Black Door Society to the folks that were in attendance. But yeah, Nilda was up on stage as well.
Oh, that is good. That is good. So she is one of the ones that is a techie as well. So
Yeah.
she knows techie and AI is one of her main things that she's kind of involved in as well. And then the article that you were talking about, amplifying their voices, how Black women in media speak their truth to power. This is by Brian Oles.
Uh, yeah.
He
Very.
if we flip the next page, uh, you'll see that he has his T-shirt on. I can't you can't really say what this T-shirt said, but he has one T-shirt that says, "Where can I send the invoice?" or something like that.
Yeah,
But it's like
yeah,
these T-shirts that he has that ran like different phrases that entrepreneurs say a lot. But this article was really good. He talked about Issa Rae and Kiki Palmer, who I
Yeah.
just watched last night, Crystal Berger. So really, this really talks about the different women in Ava Duvernay as well in this article as well.
Yeah.
So
It was
yeah,
a good
this
article.
oh my God, he is so good. And just really love the partnership and that things that he does for so many people. He matches podcasts, people, does the training, he has a Facebook group. I mean, just all the things really BSN is really uh I'd say that it's very similar to like a Toastmasters is where he got his start,
right.
but
Mhm.
so much more.
It's like
Yeah.
a
So much more.
university, really. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like you get so much access, and the more you take advantage, the more you get, right? I
Hmm.
remember Brian was the catalyst behind you and I meeting. We met at
Yes.
a power networking conference. And so
Yes.
Marshall Fox introduced me to Brian, and then he pulled me over to you, and
And they put
and
us
then
all in this book.
he's the mastermind behind our book. And so
Ah.
yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. So Brian,
Yep.
Brian definitely deserves to get his flowers. He's done so much for so many
Yes.
people. So I think we're
And
at like 17,000 members right now around the world.
it's
So
huge. It's
yeah,
That's
huge. And
amazing.
his tagline is "Speak up, your audience awaits."
yeah,
So
Yeah.
whether you say, "Oh, I don't know whether I'm a speaker or whatever," you don't have to speak to millions. You have an audience, so you
right.
speak to your audience. Just be better about and more strategic about that.
Yeah,
My visibility services, people always ask, do you do private clients and that sort of thing? Yes, I do. It looks like it's a lot of text on that page, but if you could take it, you can make it, is what I say. It's like working with me is no joke. Okay. So if you're ready for it, we can do it. But I always say if you could take it, you can make it. It's like, oh, that's just too much to read. I said, well, you're not gonna be a good client of mine because
Right.
we like smart people. Okay. So I do work with people privately, as well as in the group and ready, set, go, speak. But a lot of times people need to know, like, well, how does it work working with the publicist? That's the conversation that we can have.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
definitely a thing. It's like with anything. It looks easy. Oh, obviously we try to make it look easy, but it is
It's a lot
more
of
than
work.
a notion. It's work
Yes.
that
Yes.
really just involves, and you got to be ready. You have to be
Mhm.
ready. So
What's your
that's
tagline? What's your tagline, Dr. Penn? Would you tell me that you're a what, not a what?
oh,
You
I am a publicist, not a therapist. Okay. So you need to come to
Go talk to
me
Dr. Roz
issue
if
free.
they need
You need
therapy.
to come to me issue free because we get you out there. We ain't trying to be a therapist and your publicist. Okay. I'm not doing no drama and trauma. So let's just, if you're gonna be on the billboard, you got to be fine with that. Okay.
That's
yeah,
right.
Don't be like having triggers. Oh my gosh, you put me out there. No, that's why you came to me, right?
Oh
absolutely,
my goodness.
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. So speaking of billboard, this will be on the billboard in March, but
Ooh,
definitely we'll send out an email about that as well. It'll be
I'm
towards the
so
end of March.
excited about that.
Yes, yes, yes. And then this is also coming up in April as well. So
Yes,
people
I'll
can
be
actually
speaking
go there
there.
as well to learn about Dr. Marcia's event, which you can see in the pink. Dr. Sharrarne is one of the speakers there as well. So
Yes.
again, we have a lot of collaborative things that are going on, but the basically it's one of those things where you unleash your transformation. It's in the DMV area.
Mhm.
It's,
Yeah,
so
I've been
that
involved
is one of
before.
the things too. A lot
Yeah,
of things go in the DMV area. So
yeah.
those are some of the people that will be speaking, but she'll be on our cover in the month of April. So we
Yeah,
are good. We are good. You know
yeah.
what? This is like at 56 minutes. We did good time. We did good
Really
time.
good
Brian
time.
would be so proud.
Very proud, very proud.
Yes,
Well, is
and
there
I just
anything?
wanna thank you really quickly, please, Dr. Pam,
Yeah.
for, allowing me to grace the cover of the esteemed Speakers Magazine. I really
Mhm.
appreciate you highlighting not just me, but all of our many of our BDS sisters and all the work that we
Mhm.
do. And we couldn't get it done and couldn't promote a lot of the things that we do without Dr. Pam. Dr. Pam is the director of publicity for Black Door Society as well. She
I
didn't say
love
that.
it. You
She did.
guys make it easy. So, you make it easy. I mean, from, Nicolette, who I
Oh, yeah.
love, she
Oh,
is
yeah.
just on top of all of our
She
so,
is.
not social, but the website,
Yes.
everybody has their little lane of genius of things that they do. And I just really appreciate Dr. Sherwood is a part of it as
Yes.
well. I
Yes.
mean, so it's a good connections with everybody, but just you allow me to promote the things that you're doing. I
Yes.
will say that the community awards last year, I wasn't attending, but I do plan to come this year. But you had Molette Green as one of the honorees.
Yes.
Molette Green was one of the ones that put one of my clients on the air. So that
Yes.
connection really helped
Yes.
more so than if it was cold. I'm a publicist. It's like, oh,
Right.
I'm reaching out. But because I said I was a BDS sister, she was like, okay, I'll open this email.
Yeah.
Membership has its
It
privileges.
There you
does.
go. There
Right?
I
you go. It
agree. That
really
is
does. It
really
really does.
does. Yeah. And she's a wonderful person. If it's something good or, something good about the Black community, she's going to have them
She's
on because
that's her
that's one of
thing.
the main things that she cares about is
Community.
good news about the Black community while
Yeah.
everybody else is talking about bad news.
Right.
No, her main thing is the community. That is what she talks about. That is part of
Yes.
one of the things that she does during the week and then anchors on the weekend. But community, if it's everybody has a mission of why they go in the media, and that is obviously that's one of her missions. So that's
Yes.
one of the
Yes.
things.
And that's why
So
we
I'm
love
gonna tell
her.
everybody.
Yeah. She's a
So tell
sorority
everybody
sister too.
Yeah, tell everybody to go to speakersmagazine.com
Yep.
and also go to Amazon, get Speak Up. If you do not have this book, please make sure you get this book. It's also on the website as well. But speakersmagazine.com, go through, spend some time scrolling, watching the video, share it, save it, download it, whatever you want to do. Just you just can't sell it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Hey, I'm taking it to a women's history luncheon at the end of this month, and I'm passing it out to about
Oh,
150 women. So I'm
oh,
excited.
good. I
Me
love it.
and
I love
Gwen
it.
Townsend, the new BDS member, we're going to be there passing it out.
I
Nice.
love it. That is one thing. And then you have the board, the red
Yes,
board in the
yes.
back. YB has his as well when
I
he went
got
to Sleep
mine right
So
behind me.
Shy. So yeah, so
I
people
told
people
people, that the guy with no beard, that's Rob, and the guy you're talking to is Ron, because I want to grow. My goal is to look like Ron Isley, so I'm like,
Oh, I love Ron
so don't be mad, Pam, when I change my name to Ron YB Youngblood, because
Ashley.
that's
Ron
that's
YB.
who's gonna
Oh
be
my
showing up
God.
next month. Ron
Well,
YB
we'll see that
Youngblood.
it's growing in black. You
It's
know,
good.
a
And
lot of these guys that I know
I
my
got some
age,
silver.
you
I got some
you got
gray
some
up in
silver
here.
in there
So
because that whole Silver Fox group.
yeah,
You know,
silver
they got
foul. I'm
that.
telling you, when I come up in here looking like Ron Isley, don't get mad. I'm telling you, I may just sing for you for
That's
that
so
one. I may
funny.
just
Living for the
sing.
love of you. I'm
Now
living
come
for the
on,
love of
come
you. There
on,
you
I
go.
got it,
There
I
you
got it.
go. Well, Sharrarne, thank you so much, and thank you for all the work that you're doing. And you're double booked today, but you made it. You made it. You're doing all the things. You probably got. I call it
I have something
DTM. You
else
and
after
Mo.
this. Yes, after I leave this, I have somewhere else to go. But
See,
I just
that's what
thank
I told
you
you.
for
That's
having
what I
me.
told
And thank you so much to YB for co-hosting, and it's great to meet you.
My
Um,
pleasure.
you're working with the best, as you
Oh,
already know, Dr. Pam.
listen, I'm not gonna embarrass Dr. Pam and tell everybody what I call her. That's between me and her. But she like my mama, so I got to make sure I take care of her.
That's
I'm
right.
his Michigan mom. When he gets over here
My
to Michigan,
Michigan
I'm his
mom.
Oh,
Michigan mom.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
All
My
right.
Michigan
Because
mom.
he knows. But yeah, YB is like, when I tell you he's part of the Ready, Set, Go Speak community, he's one of the moderators, he kind of helped leads that because it's part
Ah,
of his DNA to be a leader and then also a collaborator and connector.
oh,
If you
that's
need help
wonderful.
with LinkedIn and that kind of thing, they call him the LinkedIn locksmith. He helps
Mhm.
people really get that whole platform together, which is a platform that we love. Me and Sharon
Yes.
and Betty Hines, we love LinkedIn. That's like
Yeah,
our place where
yeah.
we hang out. Facebook is cool. I mean, obviously we're on the other ones, but to find us really doing the things is on LinkedIn. So with that, thank you all so much for joining us today, and make sure that you subscribe to BSN's channel and also share this video out. All righty. God bless. Thank you guys.
Thank
Peace.
you.
God
Bye bye.
bless.
Bye bye.